Hello everybody, what follows is a short video on a solar photovoltaic installation I've just completed. When I was busy doing my research and trying to find the right equipment, I found very few resources on YouTube in the South African context that would help at all. So after I'd finished, I thought I'd just make a quick informative video of what I've done and how it works, and I'll show you upstairs quickly what we've done with the solar panels, and then from there we'll go down into my tech room where I'll show you the inverters and batteries and how we've connected to the home, and hopefully with the sunlight that's out today I'll be able to show you exactly how much energy we're producing and what it's running in my home. Right, so here on my roof we have my solar array. Here on the left, these three solar plate collectors are for hot water. You'll see as we go into the tech room, I've got a hot water tank that stores the energy from that. And that array over there is my photovoltaic. I've got 9 panels, 240 watt each at a 38 volt open circuit voltage. I've got 3 banks of 3 panels connected in series, and those 3 banks are connected in parallel, running through this line to a junction box and down into my tech room. The mounting system doesn't look very good, and the reason for that is that I didn't want to spend a huge amount of money on properly extruded aluminium systems, so I put together my own system. It's very secure and it is all holding everything in place. It's just doing it inexpensively. See, there's a slight sag there. I've got some pins that still need to be installed. I've ordered, they haven't arrived yet. This home has got a roof with a pitch of about 10 degrees. It should be a little bit higher for these panels, but I felt that this was sufficient to gain the sunlight that was required. And the only reason I felt I needed a pitch in this particular house was because when it rains it will have a self-cleaning effect. Right, so here we have the solar line all put into conduits coming through. I've got a small little enclosure inside my garage where I have my tech. This heat pump on the outside is to run the underfloor heating in the winter months. We've tried to go low energy consumption in all the equipment as far as is humanly possible. Right, let's go into the tech room. Alright, so here we're inside the room where the inverter and batteries and various switchgear is installed. Let me just go through each one of these components quickly, and then we can go and show you what that will do. This one here is the inverter. It's a hybrid inverter, so it does all the solar charging, battery charging, grid tying, all the functions are all housed in one unit. So there's no longer a need to have a separate solar charger and a separate all sorts of things. So the switchgear becomes quite simple. This little distribution board over here has got 3 breakers. One isolates the batteries, the one isolates the photovoltaic cells, and the other one isolates the AC, the alternating current that's feeding into the house. If we go around this way, we have my bank of batteries. There's 8 of them, 4 in series, so there's 2 groups of 4 giving me a 48 volt system. I've installed this recently. I had a bit of problem with overheating that we've now subsequently solved, but a changeover switch to your normal mains is quite important, because if you do pick up a fault or a critical fault and there's no serviceman around, you want to be able to switch back to your grid power very quickly. And then it feeds in to my main distribution board to the house. We have 3-phase at this home, so how it's been wired is the red phase, or phase 1, has been used to power from the batteries and the photovoltaic, and I've wired plug circuits, lighting circuits to that, along with some other circuits like my gate motors and that type of stuff. The geyser, which is this solar system over here, does have electrical assistance. We've wired that so that it's off at one of the other phases. The swimming pool is the same story. It's not essential. We haven't needed it. Let me just put this breaker back up again. Right, let me show you quickly what's happening with the inverter. It gives me a nice little diagram. You can see the grid power coming in. We've got the solar coming in. It's charging batteries, and those loads together are supplying my house's load. So you can see there my home's load at the moment is 850 odd watt. So I'm supplying from the grid the surplus of 250 odd watt. We made, up to date, 77 kilowatt hours of electrical energy from the solar panels, and today alone we've made 8.93 kilowatt hours. On my solar system you can see it is now, what's the time now? It's now 3:30, and we're still generating 630 watts. Which at this stage is around about enough to run. When the fridges switch on and off and things like that, then it'll change, but at the moment it's enough. You can see my battery system there sitting at 55 volts. It's currently charging them. And there's my load information. So you can see there I've got at the moment, that's just jumping around a little bit. There must be one or two things switching on and off, but that's not a big deal. Alright, let's go and simulate a power outage. So there's my main circuit breaker coming in from the utility. I'm going to flip that down. You can see my changeover, the light has gone off. And now all that's happened is the load is being fed directly from the panels and from the batteries together. You can see my panels are still 600 odd watt. The batteries are being discharged at this moment. But my load is still fully functioning. There are some circuits, however, that have dropped since I switched it off, so the load will drop, which means that I will have power in the home for quite a bit of time. Now, while I'm holding that, I'm just going to put the utility back on again. The inverter is going to think about it for a little while. It puts the grid on, and it switches the photovoltaic cells back on again. And the system is running. I hope this has given you some information, not all the information, because it's taken me a couple of weeks of playing and fiddling and doing all sorts of things to try and get it working exactly the way it should. You're welcome to ask me any questions in the comments. I'll be sure to try and get back to all of you. Thank you very much.